what the run is just a little bit before I start. Basically, Portal airboat %, I'm going to complete the entire game of Portal without ever picking up the portal gun, and instead using airboats to complete the game. So time is going to start whenever my crosshair shows up on screen, and that's going to be in about 2, 1, go. Alright, so this is airboat %. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to set an airboat in the ground here, and we're going to get in it so that we can get out of the vault before GLaDOS starts talking. I'm a little stuck. Alright, there we go. And we're going to make our way over here. So to explain some of the glitches, basically, spawning airboats is pretty broken. You can just spawn them in walls and stuff and climb straight. Pretty cool. And to talk about the movement a little bit, I'm going to be moving around mostly like just bunny hopping and stuff. And the reason why I'm doing that is because there is a glitch in this game called ABH, where, oh, I should have first. I'm going to save and load a lot while sticking this radio on this button in an attempt to get the button stuck. So we're going to see if that works. Alright, it did. So now the button's stuck. But yeah, I'm ABHing everywhere. And basically, and that's all there really is to that. So to talk like a little bit of the background stuff is going to be pretty simple. The reason why this category exists is because the Portal community has always joked about, oh, that was the wrong save. Anyways, Portal community has always joked about using airboats to skip. And so I decided to take that one step further. Instead of just skipping cutscenes in the game, just playing the entire game with them.
In semi-rare cases, emancipate dental fillings.
So now we're just going to be making our way through all of the test chambers and puzzles, just placing airboats in places, climbing on top of them, getting in them. And, yeah, as you'll be able to see a little bit later in the run, the ability to place them anywhere, any of them as you want, is quite broken. So I'm just going to climb up here and hop in.
Science bring your daughter to work day is the perfect time to have her tested.
Unfortunately, there's no way to skip the elevator ride, so we just get to sit here and be bored for a little bit. Next chamber, I'm going to use an airboat to knock this cube out of the air over to me, so that I can place it on this button, instead of having to climb. Actually place it on the button.
Required test protocol. We will not monitor the next test chamber.
Of what we're going to be doing in this category. With ABHing everywhere so that we can get insane speed. So now we're going to do it again here. We're going to attempt to get this cube. Ignore the fact that there's airboats everywhere. I'm going to do another trick called button save glitch. This is the similar glitch to what I did in the very first chamber, just with a different method. I'm going to attempt to get this button stuck. I'm having a little bit of an issue. There we go. Now we're going to drop that on the other button, and now we're going to strafe in and out GLaDOS' voice line that doesn't start playing till you're in there. And now we're going to attempt to clip up into the next room. There's a few airboats in my way. It's making it a little more difficult. I'm going to attempt a different angle. Eventually. There we go. And now we're just going to go get in the elevator. And the reason why I had to trigger GLaDOS' voice line is because this elevator does not start moving until her voice line is finished. And it room. So now these next couple chambers are going to be fairly... Spawn an airboat up top, spawn an airboat down here, and then climb inside. The next chamber.
Can and has caused permanent disabilities such as vaporization. Please be careful. Devices are required on all mobile equipment.
This airboat's stuck in the ground a little bit. I don't think that's gonna matter too much, but it's gonna make it a little more difficult to climb on. So now coming up on Chamber 8, in the normal inbound speedrun, you across the entire chamber and just basically fly through the air with the amount of speed we get. We're gonna do something. We're gonna utilize the fact that we can spawn as many airboats as we want. So we're gonna jump over this railing and then just spawn a bunch of airboats and use that to launch her to the elevator. And that's just a little bit of a taste. So I'm gonna come out here and grab this cube. We're just gonna chuck it through this hole. Chuck it through the hole. Chuck it through the hole. Chuck it through the hole. There we go. Now we're gonna drop that on the button.
Resolute and resourceful in an atmosphere of extreme pessimism.
So now coming up on Chamber 10, I'm going to attempt to do something here that'll be kind of fast. I found this like a couple days ago, and I'm not 100% sure how consistent it is. But I'm gonna spawn an airboat here and get in it, and I'm gonna attempt to get stuck in this door and then have it launch across to the other side. Usually it just kills me, but sometimes it'll just send me across like that. And we can use that to cross that gap. So now, I'm gonna do a trick here called airboat boosting. I'm gonna spawn a ton of airboats under myself to send me flying through the air and use that to get a little bit of height so that we can skip this puzzle. Ooh, that's bad AVH. That's fine though. So now in Chamber 11, we're going to have our first out-of-bounds section of the run. So as I said, you can just spawn airboats wherever you want, and that includes inside of walls, and that also includes inside of walls that normally you wouldn't be able to get to the other side of. So we're going to come up here and get in this corner, get ourselves wedged. And I have a lineup I'm trying to use here, and if I do it right, the airboat will start tilting on its side and I'll be able to get out. I'll climb over here. Now I'm going to spawn an airboat in the wall like that, jump in, and I'm going to drive it out of bounds over to this next section of the level. And I'm going to hop out, and I'm going to do a couple save loads here. Every single time I save and load, I'm going to be moved down just a little bit so that I can clip back inside of the map, just like that. Because we entered the map like this, this elevator actually doesn't open. So I'm going to spawn an airboat inside of it, and I'm going to get in it out, and that's going to drop me on top of the airboat since there was no room on top of the elevator since there was no room inside of the elevator for me. And we can use this to skip a little bit of like the elevator door opening animation. So now we're going to do another airboat boost. We're going to use a ton of airboats to send ourselves all the way to the top of the level, ideally. Ideally. There we go. Can still work. So I'm gonna stand on top of this airboat, spawn a couple more underneath. Ooh, that almost made it. Okay. To just chuck it down to the button. Normally, this is pretty easy. Okay, there we go. And now we're just gonna get in the elevator. Right now, we have no audio because, we have the game is lagging so much from all the airboats on screen. So one of the things that I'm really trying to do whenever I'm doing this run is keep the on screen to a minimum so the game doesn't lag as much and has less potential of crashing. So every strat I do revolves. I'm gonna spawn an airboat here on the ground so that I can climb on it later. Now, I'm gonna kind of line myself up. I know, a little further back. And I'm going to spawn an airboat in this and wrong airboat.
revive you with hectic cell and adrenaline.
Get in!
To revive you with hectic.
There we go.
As part of a
And now we can just hop our way into the elevator.
Test
just spawn an airboat at the end and climb up into it if I don't get stuck. 15 is one of the harder chambers in the run because of one particular area. Yeah, it is definitely pretty hard.
The Enrichment Center is committed to the well-being of all. Conclusion of the test.
And make my way over this way. And spawn an airboat. And skip the puzzle. And now we're coming up on the harder section. So after I clip pillars in them, and those pillars, if you like get too close to them, they'll just shove you. So we're attempting to not die here, but it's really hard whenever. And one more airboat at the end. Past the tunnel. Usually that can get a little bit, and then we're gonna do another airboat boost so across to the next platform and skip the puzzle. On Chamber 16, there are a lot of precise airboat clips that I'm gonna have to do in this chamber. Airboat here and climb up so that I can skip waiting for GLaDOS to open the door. Over and place this turret on the button. And now I'm going to use. Hello? Fall over. Wow. Okay, it's a 10. I'm gonna airboat, or that turret is inside of the airboat, which means it won't be able to see me. Turret gate. And now I'm going to spawn an airboat in this wall so that I can get into it and clip to the other side. Having a little bit of an issue? Okay, come on. This is normally a lot easier than I'm making it look. I'm gonna step a little bit to the left and hopefully that'll make it easier. Nope. And there's Chamber 16.
That Android Hell is a real place where you will be sent at the first sign.
Now for Chamber 17, we're gonna have another mini out of bounds section, because there's no way for us to get past the final door without actually going out of bounds. So first we're gonna jump our way over here, and we're not gonna bother getting the companion cube because it's not really helpful to us. And so we're just gonna make our way over here and spawn an airboat in the roof. And now we're going to attempt, at least, to drive this airboat back inbounds. Oh. Although sometimes it just doesn't move like that, and so I gotta try again. Hold on, let me try lining up again. Okay, I think this will work. Yep, we're gonna make it back inbound to this. There we go. Now we've skipped all of chamber 17. So I'm gonna line myself up here because I am going to have to do an ABH sequence to make it over this gap, like that, so that we don't have to shoot a portal to get across. And now we're gonna do a couple of airboat boosts to get us on top, or over to that window up there. Ah, I didn't get enough backwards momentum from that one. Okay, there we go, that'll work. So now, standing here, I'm gonna spawn an airboat right there in the wall, and I'm gonna airboat boost up to it. I'm like, I'm moving backwards, and I need to be moving forwards. Alright, get in it. There we go. And now we're gonna use that to clip through to the other side here, and skip the entire turret room that's normally in chamber 18. So now we have to get all the way to the top of this chamber here, so we're gonna have to spawn a lot of airboats to give ourselves some height to make it. We're almost there though. Kinda moving in some weird directions. Alright, I'm gonna try that again. Let's climb up here. Just need a little bit more height. There we go.
Well done.
The game is lagging a lot right now, so I'm just gonna sit here in this elevator and pray it doesn't crash. But we should be good.
For more information, please attend an Enrichment Center Electrical Safety Seminar.
So now in chamber 19, this chamber is pretty much everything from here to the end is going to be incredibly difficult compared to what we were doing before. So I'm gonna do a lineup here and spawn an airboat in the wall. And this is going to skip me over to the end of this first puzzle area. I'm gonna spawn a lot of airboats so that I have something to climb on. And so I'm not just in the goo. I'm gonna try that again. Okay, this should work. So now I'm going to attempt to airboat boost across this gap over here, and now we're gonna do another airboat boost to make our way up there.
Safely operational. Safely operational. Up to 4. Safely operational.
Corner.
Function.
Up. Use that staircase because it literally just breaks. Now we're gonna get in this. Hop through the fence a little bit. And clip. Stop the fan, and then we're gonna spawn another to clip through it. And this should work. Alright, nice. And now we've got an airboat boost up so that we can get on this little catwalk up here. There's two different ways this can work. We can either make it across the gap, or we can get sent up here. Both work. This way's faster, though. So now, I'm going to spawn another airboat out of bounds, and I'm going to drive this one all the way to the end of the level. Once it actually clips all the way through. I'm a little stuck. Okay, there we go. Make our way over here. And I'm just gonna hop out. Aw, that didn't work. That sucks. I got out on the wrong side. I'm gonna have to... Alright. So I'm gonna hop over this. Oh! I hit something. Alright, I'm gonna save this time before I get out. Getting out on a different side. Put it sideways. There we go. Now we're going to do the same thing I did before, where I save and load to clip back inbounds. Once I'm back inbounds, we'll be able to make it to the end of the level. Alright, so now I'm going to line up here, spawn a couple airboats, and clip through this fence. Number 19. There we go. Climb on. There we go. And we're gonna and jump into this airboat. Now we're going to so ignore the whole missing textures thing over here. That's fine. We don't need to worry about it. Alright. So now I'm gonna spawn an airboat. This girder. We need to get a little bit higher. Oh, I think that would have worked actually. It's obviously not the most consistent thing in the world, but if it works. Alright, so now, instead of going through the large piston room and having that be a giant pain in our side, we're gonna clip over this way and go into this hidden room up here. Normally you wouldn't be able to get to this, but once again, we're just clipping with airboats everywhere. And now I'm going to do a lineup. I'm gonna line up my crosshair in a precise way so that I can airboat in this next room. And I need to drive it in such a way that I can get out on top of it, like that. And I need to get on top of the airboat, and I'm gonna airboat boost. And we're done with that map. So now, normally we would get attacked by a bunch of turrets here, but I'm spawned 2 airboats each inside of their rooms, so that they don't shoot me. And then I killed that one with a barrel because I actually need to get in this room. And now I'm gonna hop in this airboat, climb out up here, and then I'm gonna climb into another turret room that is just on the other side of this wall. And now I'm gonna grab this turret, or maybe not. The airboat just killed me. Alright, let's see. Come on. Normally the airboat doesn't kill you more than once here, because it's random if it kills you, but it shouldn't kill me there. But we're turret's corpse to climb our way up here. Now we're gonna make our way this way. Spawn a couple airboats in the glass here to clip through it. We technically don't have to do this. We could do this without the portal gun, without airboats, but it's a little faster because waiting for this rocket turret to shoot is pretty slow. Okay, there we go. Took a couple attempts. Alright. This to clip into the other room, and spawn an airboat right there, pop out of bounds, and then do the save load clips to get back in bounds. Just like that. And now we're just gonna ABH our way to the end of this map. Alright, now come on. That was kind of slow. Oh well. Alright, so I'm just gonna do one quick airboat boost to get myself right here. Spawn an airboat in this wall so I can climb through it. Work with me here, game, come on. Alright, nice. So now we're gonna ABH in the goo here, except in the goo, the game doesn't actually let us leave the air, so we gain speed really quickly compared to normal, which is nice. Way to the top of the map, ideally. Come on. Alright. Having a little bit of an issue. Just because of how random this one is. Okay. This is good. I think this will work. Oh, that's a lot of airboats on screen. Okay. I'm gonna reload this save. Because that one wasn't working out. Okay. There we go. We're almost there. Come on, we're almost there. Make it! Okay, nice. We made it. Make use of the get turret wouldn't be able to hit GLaDOS, but there's actually a precise lineup we can do to have it hit anyways. But before we get to that, I am going to press this button here and grab this core and dump it in there. So now we're gonna have some time to kill while GLaDOS talks before we have to actually go and do our lineup. So I'm gonna screw around for a little bit.
Good news. I figured out what that thing you just incinerated did. It was a morality. You think you're doing some damage?
So now we're gonna have to do that lineup again.
In base 4,
See if that hits. Nice. Alright. So the next core is really difficult to get. So I'm gonna climb up on this railing, and I'm gonna attempt to airboat boost all the way up there to where it is. Ooh, okay. We didn't make it to the core, but we got up here instead, which it will work. I'm just gonna climb around the outside and then jump down to it. And now we're just gonna drop this core right next to the incinerator. Then now we're gonna go dump it in.
It says so right here.
So now we've got one more lineup to do, one more core to dump. Is this gonna hit? Alright, nice. So the last core is gonna spawn right there in front of us. And unfortunately, we can't use the airboat to knock this one down either, but we got really lucky there and knocked it out, or when we knocked ourselves into it first try. That normally does not happen. It normally takes me at least and now make our way over to it and dump it in the core Or dump the... That was a lot faster than I expected. That's actually a new world record for this category.
That was actually damn fast. That was 29:25.
Wow.
Yeah. So...
My previous PB was 36 minutes without loads. I just got 27 minutes without loads.
Yeah.
So... So...
Alright.
Too much.
Whatever, tomorrow. It's all good.
It's free. Literally free.
Yeah, easy. Alright, you have any last things you want to say before I transition over?
Not really.
Alright.
Unless you want to see the cake. That'll take a couple more minutes. Or not really. Or like 1 more minute. The cake is always a fan favorite in Portal. Unfortunately, we can't actually get to it in Airboat %. You have to have portals to do it. Oh, actually, there's one thing I could show off. There's a glitch, actually, in Airboat % that's banned. That I could show.
Banned, you say?
Yeah. Because it would make the category too stupid. I can show that off real quick. So, just to be clear, I'll make it obvious. My SV cheats is set to 0, right? It's set to 0. And you can spawn airboats with that on. That's just how the game works. And if you take an airboat...
Please proceed into the chamber lock after completing each test.
I have to set this up a little bit. Alright, you take an airboat, and you drive it into a fizzler, and get out of it at the same time you drive it in. You actually get no-clipped. And you can just fly around the map like that. This is a glitch that we decided to ban because it would be incredibly stupid. The run would be a lot dumber. Because this, like, goes through loads and stuff. You're just permanently no-clipped until you get in another airboat.
I think that's what I call the ultimate meme category.
Oh yeah.
Just do that.
Yeah. That's all I've got to show now.
Alright, up next we have, I believe, Danky Gang.
Ooh, nice.
So stay tuned.